If you're anything like me, you probably have experience with getting really motivated about a goal that you've set, only to discover that you don't really have a system and the goal just falls apart. Well, today I'm here to talk to you about how you can use the elastic method to help you achieve your goals. After doing a little bit of research on the elastic method, there seemed to be a common goal that was used as examples. So I'm going to use it with you. I'm going to show you that. And then I'm going to show you a couple of other examples because not every goal is as easy as other goals. So just remember that your goal has to be something that is action oriented. So you have to perform some sort of action in order to achieve your goal. Otherwise, they're just dreams. So for example, it would be lovely to have the goal to be a millionaire, but unless you have the actions to go along with that in order to get you to that dream, then it's just a dream. So the number one common example that was used is going to the gym. So I'm going to show you a little example that I put together. All right, so your ultimate goal is to get to the gym. But what I want you to think about, the elastic method says to think about what level of other actions can you take or make. So as you'll see here, I have a tier 1 would be to walk. Or I might go to tier 2, skipping or jumping rope. And then tier 3 would be going to the gym. If you're trying to figure out how to make those levels or how to make those tiers, think about what could you do no matter what on any given day? What could you certainly achieve? Walking would probably not be a big deal, right? Skipping rope might be a little bit more challenging, but not as challenging as getting to the gym. And then getting to the gym is really ultimately what you want to do. Awesome. Here's the other part of the elastic method. You want to set the elastic method into mini, easy, plus, medium, or elite, hard. And so what you might do is say, okay, if I wanted to do tier 1, easy level, I might walk for 5 minutes today. If I wanted to do tier 2, easy level, I might jump rope 10 times. And if I wanted to do the easy gym for a day, it would be 5 minutes. Not very many of us are going to do that. If we're going to go to the gym, we're probably going to spend more time there. But this is what the mini easy level would look like. So on any given day, you have 3 levels of working out, and you also have 3 levels of difficulty or time spent. As you can see, the plus level has us walking for 15 to 20 minutes. It has us doing 75 jumps on the jump rope or with jump rope, and it has us going to the gym for 15 to 20 minutes. And then the elite has us walking or going to the gym for 1 or more hours, and it has us doing 200 jump ropes. So as you can see, you have basically 9 different options that you can show up every single day. So if you planned to go to the gym tomorrow for an hour and you had a meeting after work that you weren't expecting, or something came up, a family emergency, but you could get out and you could walk for 5 minutes, it still gives you the accountability for getting in some sort of exercise, and it still helps you feel like you've achieved something when you look at it using this method. But the next part of the elastic method, which I think is equally as important, is categorizing on a calendar what that looks like. I'm going to show you my calendar now. It doesn't have anything to do with the goal of exercise, but my personal goal. So what I've chosen to do is on my tier 1, I've chosen to represent that as yellow. My tier 2 will be orange. You can see I haven't done a tier 2 yet. And my tier 3 will be pink. So what I've done is every time I show up for myself each day, and it's a tier 1, it's going to be yellow. Every day I show up for myself and it's a tier 2, it will be orange. And every day I show up for myself, tier 3, it will be pink. So if my goal were the gym goal, this would mean that I've walked these days And it would mean that I've gone to the gym on these days and I've yet to jump rope. What I'm doing is I'm creating a little bit of a game out of it. So as you can see, I've got dots on my stickies. And this is my mini plus elite level. So what I'm doing is if I show up mini, I put 1 dot. So if I show up just for 5 minutes, I get a dot. If I show up here, I get 2 dots. And if I show up here, I get 3 dots. So even though I only had a tier 1 on 4 of these days, I spent on 3 of them, I spent more than an hour plus doing them. So I gave myself 3 dots. So even though it was tier 1, I spent a long time working on tier 1, so I get 3 dots. Now, on this day, I worked on tier 3 and for a long time, so I got 3 dots. Here, I showed up for my tier 1 and I only showed up for 5 minutes, but I showed up for myself this day. And that is the whole point of this system, is that you show up every day, whether it's for 5 minutes, whether it's on tier 1, doesn't make a difference, because at the end of the day, when you see this calendar full of colored stickies, it creates the habits that then create the systems that help you reach the goal. So if I could only put on the pink when I did my tier 3, or when this person went to the gym, they may only get a few on here, and that isn't motivating. But what's really motivating is when you see that you've shown up for yourself every single day of the month. That's exciting. That's when you start to see that you're gaining momentum. That's when you start to see results. And the little game that I'm playing with myself, at the end of the month, I count up each of the dots and I give myself a total number. And then the next month, I do the same thing just to see what my numbers are. Does it really matter if I have more or less? So long as I'm showing up, it doesn't. But it's interesting to see from month to month to month what's happening and the momentum that I'm gaining and how I'm showing up to myself on tier 1, 2, and 3 level. I told you that I was going to show you a couple of different examples aside from the gym example, so let's do that now. For the second example, I chose journaling. Or maybe you want to write a book. Maybe you want to publish a book. I tried to think about a tier 1. I don't know, maybe all of you writers out there might have a better idea, but I didn't really have a tier 1. So I chose a tier 2 would be writing, and tier 3 would be the editing. I see you can't really see that very well, but that's what it says. And so to break them up into mini, plus, and elite, I said for writing, it would be 50 words. So when you write 50 words, then you've got your check for the day. 750 words would be plus, and 1,500 words would be the elite. And as far as the editing goes, we have 5 minutes, 20 minutes, and 60 minutes. And on to example 3. Let's say your goal was to consistently post on your YouTube channel. Now your tiers might go like this. Your tier number 1 might be researching what content you want to create or watching videos of your competitors' content to get ideas. Tier 2 might be planning out what you want to create, so doing the paperwork to that. Tier 3 might be the actual videoing or editing of those videos. The mini, plus, and elite versions can take on a variety of ideas. I broke it up in one way, but I'm going to tell you another way that maybe you could do it. So you will see that in tier 1 and tier 3, I have minutes or time set as easy with 5 minutes, the medium with 15 to 20 minutes, and the elite to 60 minutes. Now your tier 2, your planning part, you could also put in those same categories with the timing, but also you might want to break it down in that your planning might be just you doing, oh my gosh, you can't see that, bullet points. Maybe your planning is just bullet pointing out your ideas for the easy. And then for the medium, maybe you're actually writing out the outline. And then for the elite, maybe you're crafting a script. Depending on who you are and what your goals are, this can look different, very different, depending on what your goal is. So sometimes it's not as clear cut as that gym exercise one, but the whole point is that there is a way to do it no matter what your goal is. And at the end of the day, if you attribute each one of these tiers to a certain color sticky and you place it on your calendar at the end of the month, and make sure you have your calendar someplace where you can see it, where it is visible. Put it someplace where you are going to see it every single day so that you can make sure that you want to show up for yourself. It makes it a lot easier when you have visuals. It makes it a lot easier when you get to stretch out that action, when you don't always have to be committed to one particular action, but that you have a certain area of levels, a certain amount of levels of that action, so that on those days that you just don't feel like showing up, you can still show up and feel like you've achieved something. You can still hold yourself accountable, but it doesn't have to be to the tier three elite level, right? I hope that this elastic method has given you a new perspective on how to establish and achieve your goals. Let me know what your goals are and if you need any help figuring out what tiers your goal should be or what level your goal should be or what it should look like. I'd be more than happy to try to help you figure that out. Until next time, trust your journey, and I'll see you in the next one.